Welcome to the Wild Simplicity podcast, the podcast for awakening women who are ready to shed the layers, let go of the clutter, and rediscover their wild and wonderful selves that lie beneath. I'm Anna Day, and together we'll explore how to simplify, release what's no longer serving us, and embrace the possibility of living fully in this one wild and precious life. Whether you're a dreamer, a seeker, or someone who craves doing things differently, this space is for you. Let's dive in and awaken the magic within. Hello and welcome back to the Wild Simplicity podcast. This is Anna Day, and today I am going to share a note that I wrote in my phone. I was talking last week about inner dialogue, and that was stemmed from my morning pages and after my morning pages and writing or typing out in my phone notes whatever had come into my mind about inner dialogue. And this week I'm going to share about the heart. And I was talking about this on Instagram yesterday actually, how, gosh, there must be I think of all the notes I have in my phone notes, and I have voice memos in the voice memo app. I have loads, which I'm going to go through and see what's in there. I also have Google Docs, which is all with, ideas and things that have come to me and that I wanted to share about, many of which I have not shared about. Because if I don't share these things soon after they come to me, they lose the vibrancy or the frequency or something. There's a disconnect, or maybe it's the fear builds up. The resonance is gone of what's been coming to me in the moment when they were shared. And then there's a disconnect, which creates fear of it not being a worthy message, or there's something there about the disconnect and the distance between when these things come to me and when I share them. Having said that, what I'm determined to do is look through all the notes in my phone and on my voice notes, and also the voice memos, and the Google Docs, and collate and see what's there and see what else is there to be shared, because it really feels decluttering my digital spaces is really important to me. So not letting things stack up and become stagnant. So we're so focused, or I have been so focused on physical declutter and emotional declutter, and I've gotten really good at those things. My digital clutter is one thing that is still really intense. And with my photos, I've got so many photos that need to be deleted, and also documents and files. And there's a files folder on my phone, which I really have a block around because there's so much on there. And when I download things from websites, or when someone sends me something, it goes into this files app on my phone, and it's higgledy-piggledy. There's no rhyme or reason to where things are stored and the way things are catalogued, because they aren't catalogued. And so I want to go through that and delete loads of stuff. So that's what I'm determined to do. But also these voice memos and these notes in my phones, because thinking about how many of these notes might resonate with someone, or will give me the insight I need as well to spark something else, or to spark what I'm doing next, or whatever it is. And I was thinking yesterday, I was talking about this, how many of us who have these inspirational downloads and ideas come to us, and we take note of them somewhere, or in notebooks as well. If you have loads of scraps of notebooks, or in your journals, or wherever you take down these notes of inspiration, and how many of those are kept in people's devices or notebooks, and how many of them would enhance this world if they were shared. I was thinking that the other day, just these dormant nuggets of wisdom that are in all these notebooks and journals and phones. Anyway, so that might inspire you if you are someone who writes these down, or who writes things, poems, or has creations, and you're scared to share them with the world. Put them out there, just share them, and guaranteed they've come to you for a reason. Maybe some of them have come to you for you and personal use, and that's fine. But if there's that element of fear there, or of knowing that they're meant to be out there, but there's a fear of sharing them, think about putting them out there. Don't think about it, do it. Do it, even if you're scared. Anyway, on that note, I will read the one that I wrote. This is now from 2 weeks ago, I think, actually, but maybe even longer. So I did throw my eye over it there earlier, and some of it doesn't make complete sense. That happens when I write these down. Sometimes there's a flow sometimes, and then the flow leaves and something, but there's words there that they make sense. And I'm going to read it as it was, because I didn't want to edit it. I didn't want to adjust it or censor it or do anything to it, because I feel that these messages that come to me in the morning are really potent, and it feels like they need to be shared the way they came through, which, requires trust from me and courage. But this is what we're doing now. So this is about hearts, and it starts off, our hearts are renewable resources. The more we love, the more love comes. It just keeps coming. The more we love ourselves and remind ourselves of our beautiful souls and of how precious this human life is, the more love comes. It's regenerative. No, it's regenerative. Is that the word? I've written down regenerative. Regenerative? Anyway, I digress. It keeps replenishing, and it replenishes inwards and even more than went out. It keeps replenishing and replenishes inwards with even more than went out. So not only does it regenerate, it grows. It doesn't, however, grow from giving and loving, when that love only goes outwards. When the love is going in one direction, then a part of the heart is neglected and atrophies. And that's when the replenishing energy needs to go into this unused, untended to part of the heart. That part is the part that directs love to ourself. So the heart must give love in all directions so that it can replenish, regenerate, and expand. So the love must come to ourselves. We may have to learn how to love ourselves. Maybe we have no reference point for this. Look to people who love themselves, like really love themselves. That subtle, indescribable, energetic knowing you get from that person. They're grounded in who they are. They have a sense of calm about them. Tune into that and then imagine that future you who absolutely loves herself or himself. What would that feel like to fully love yourself? Imagine no voice telling you you're shit, or you shouldn't have said that, or you're stupid or an idiot for keeping on making the same mistakes. Imagine if all of that energy was changed into loving energy. Imagine what would be possible. Step into her now. Feel what it feels like to have dropped all that shit baggage, those tatty, old, ripped, torn, damaged suitcases and bags that you are carting around every day. Fuck it. Drop them all. Oh, look, there's a lovely, comfortable, waterproof, well-made bag right at your feet that you didn't even see. Pick that one up. Try it on. Oh, so much lighter. It doesn't even feel like you're carrying anything. It just emits loving thoughts and sensations. It emits warmth and belonging. It reminds you that you're here because you're supposed to be here. Why the hell else would you be here? You're needed. You're loved. You're on team human. So with this lovely bag, feel your heart. Feel your own love. Feel the awkwardness. Feel the urge to put down the new comfy light bag and the oh so strong urge to go back and pick up the tatty shit you've been carrying. Nope. Not now. Decide. Decide. Decide in this moment that you are going to live now as that future you who loves herself. The you that has unlearned all the crap. The you that knows. She knows. She knows deep in her bones that she belongs. She's a part of the team. She knows her part in all of this. She does not take for granted that she was chosen as one of the puzzle pieces. She's needed to complete this beautiful picture. She remembers her part in this tapestry of amazing, unique, individual humans. Her particular color thread is needed. So breathe into your beautiful heart. Feel it, know it, love it, and let it love you. Let it do its job and spread out its love and emanate its love in all directions. Your heart is going to love you and be so grateful. And just imagine how you get to feed this world with that ever-increasing heart of yours every single day. Thank you for sharing your beautiful heart full of love with yourself and with everyone around you. Thank you for being part of all this. Thank you for being willing to move through the discomfort of doing something that seems foreign and wrong. And thank you for remembering that the heart replenishes and regenerates and expands when it can do its job freely and give love in all directions, including to you, the closest person to it. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being here. And that's actually a lovely reminder for me to read as well, that the loving ourselves and the remembering to direct love back to ourselves, back into us to fill up our well of goodness, and how we have been taught to tend to others first and to make sure everyone else is okay and then tend to ourselves. And how gorgeous it is when we can unlearn that, not in a way that we are not tending to others and not being kind, but in a way that we are tending to ourselves first and foremost. And when we do that for even the shortest amount of time, the love multiplies, it regenerates, it overflows. And it works so well because we don't need to spend that much time. I mean, we can spend loads of time with ourselves, but when we tend to ourselves first, in the smallest of ways, our body responds, our heart responds, our soul responds. And with that nod in the direction of our soul and in the direction of our importance and our worthiness, it was then the universe or our soul and our higher self responds by nearly showing off in how abundant it can be in love and in energy and vitality. And it's so counterintuitive because we think, okay, do all the things first, do all the to-do list first, tend to all the people first, and then we can, whatever's left, go to ourselves. But spending a short amount of time on ourselves, with ourselves, tending to ourselves, loving ourselves, reprogramming that shit language that we have been taught to use in our own minds and that we've heard from other people and we continually hear from other women and other people around us towards themselves and towards each other. And when we unlearn all that, it really, there's such a it doesn't it doesn't add up. There's no equation for it because it just multiplies in excessive terms, not excessive, in just abundant terms. So putting into ourselves and to having the courage to put ourselves first and to rest first before all the doing. Like we have it flipped backwards. We do all the tasks and then we give ourselves the reward of rest or of tending to ourselves. And when we flip that and do it the other way around, it's so much more beneficial to ourselves and to everyone around us. And there's ways of starting this, starting by tending to yourself in the morning. Do not take up your phone in the morning. Do not allow the people, I've spoken about this before, like when we open our phones and go into WhatsApp, go into Instagram, go into Facebook, whatever you go into, even a message from one person in your message inbox or emails, my vision and what I imagine is that I am inviting all those people into my space. And I just don't want that in the mornings. I don't want people. It's like they're all queuing up around my bed to speak to me and for my attention. I'm like, no, I haven't even got out of bed yet. Go away. And this is what we do when we open up our phones and turn them off airplane mode straight away. So the best way I have learned to tend to myself is to have a hard boundary around that phone not being turned on until I have tended to myself through what I haven't done in a while, but what practice I was doing was the mirror work, going to the mirror first thing, looking at myself in the mirror. I'm going to start doing that again, actually, because it's so lovely. But I've definitely reprogrammed what I say to myself, and it's so lovely. So waking up first now, and as I was saying last week, I say to myself, I love you. And it comes so easily. It comes as a reflex now when I wake up. It's like the first greeting I get is from me to me, telling me I'm amazing, telling me I love myself, and telling me that we can do this. What a gift. We get another day in this world, regardless of what's going on and what's happened and what unforeseen horrendous circumstances are happening in and around me. It's the tending to myself gives me the steadiness to go on and to move through the good and the bad. And then the moving into the bathroom, looking in the mirror, speaking to myself eye to eye is really, really powerful. Looking yourself directly in the eyes and saying something gentle, beautiful, tender, loving it's incredible. It's an amazing skill to learn. And then going in and for me, it's my morning pages. For you, it might be something else. Find what your thing is that is your cocoon, that is your time for you to tend to your heart, to tend to that loving aspect of yourself, to pour love into yourself somehow. And for me, it's the morning pages. And those pages I've been doing them for 2.5 years now, pretty consistently. I've probably stopped for a couple of weeks here and there, but they are they're unbelievable. They're such a holding ground, and I can be myself completely. I write whatever I want to write, my problems, my anger, my frustrations, my rage, my passion, my love, my kindness, problem solving, my lists, everything can go there. You can, when I daydream sometimes and go back, I say, oh, I looked away for a few minutes. I'm back here now. I can't remember what my train of thought was. What was I saying? It all comes out. I write it all down, whatever my flow of consciousness is. And it's such a gift to have that unconditional space of love and acceptance for myself in those pages. So for me, that's what it is. And then I take a couple of minutes to myself to meditate and breathe, just breathe. And sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes, it depends. And then I exercise. I mean, I say I exercise, I've been doing it for 4 days now in a row, which I'm delighted about. But I go through stages of doing exercise, and sometimes it's dancing, sometimes it's jumpies, just jumping up and down to one song and getting my energy moving and flowing. And then, and only then, no, then I go up to my kids actually. Sometimes I turn on my phone then, but usually I'll go up to the kids, wake the kids, tend to them, one to one, lovingly welcoming them to this day. We get to, and I say this to them, I say, like, welcome to this new day. You get a whole new day to live again, to have adventures, to play, to have fun, to love. And I'm training them by what I'm saying to them. And I go up to them singing sometimes, and I, really try and infuse that energy. And it comes from the core of my being. It's not me trying to turn something on. It's because I've spent time with myself that I have this grounded, centered place where I can be with them. And that instills in them that their mornings are started in a certain way, and they're woken up to a loving voice. And this is not to berate yourself if you can't do this, if you're not able to do this with your kids or with whoever you're waking up with or yourself. This can all be learned. So take from this can be learned. It is a skill. We can unlearn what we have in our minds and the way we've been taught to behave and to interact. And then when I've woken the kids up, and we have a bit of fun, and I might dance in the room. Sometimes I'll do my jumpies in the room there with them, and I might put on a song, and they look at me as if I'm crazy sometimes. Sometimes they smile. And it's just infusing fun into the morning as much as possible, because my mornings used to be difficult. And my kids are older now. They're nearly 9 and 11. So that could be an aspect of it. I don't have very young kids anymore. It's a whole different ball game. But really, I have made an intentional declaration that I want my days to start really well, full of me first, and then I can infuse that out to my kids and to my husband. And then I go in and say hi to my husband and make eye contact with him and say good morning to him and acknowledge each other, check into each other, how are we doing? And then I'll go and have my showers, or go in and make lunches for the kids. And then my phone might be on. I'll check the messages from the school and what's going on, etc. But really, the tending to our hearts and tending to that love and being a loving person has to include loving ourselves. It has to. There is no way of being in this world anymore when we're not loving ourselves. There's not. It makes it much more easy, and it makes much more the world the way it is and what's going on. We have to be tending to ourselves first to be then able to go out and create the world we want to create, because that's the only way I see through for change. When we fill ourselves up, we have much more capacity to help those in need around us in our immediate community and wider. And that is my devotion. My devotion is to tend to myself, to pour into my heart, to pour into myself with love, to pour into my soul, to let my soul know I am here, I am listening. What is my mission? What do you want me to do? Where would you have me go today? What would you have me say? And to whom? That's my living prayer, my going forth into the day. And how can I have fun? How can I infuse fun, joy, love, excitement, expansion into my days in a world where I'm told that that's not okay anymore, and that there is so much fear and there's so much suffering. And it's really putting weight on those things of having great importance: love, pleasure, excitement, expansion, joy, happiness, laughter. We have to really purposefully take time to cultivate these things now, to offset what's going on and to help us deal with what's going on and to help us help others with what's going on, and to create the world we want to see, and the world I believe that our children can have and future generations can have. And that comes from us and how we are changing the narrative, changing how it has gone for generations of how we've spoken to ourselves, how we've been taught to disregard our self-worth, disregard our self-belief, to look outside ourselves for our knowing, and instead direct ourselves back to ourselves, to our limitless well of love within ourselves and limitless well of knowledge and intuition and wisdom and gnosis that is within us. It's all there. And it's a practice to get to trust ourselves and know ourselves more and more and more. And when we can do this by starting our day with love, and as whatever we can muster, whatever tiny seed that we can muster, and it takes that 1% change. So, not doing all the practices I'm talking about, and doing something that specifically works for you. What's the most tiny, minuscule, incremental change you can do? Saying something nice to yourself. It doesn't have to be I love you, because that can be a lot. It can be intense. Something, just a few kind words, or, I'm okay, putting your hand on your heart, or it's some nod of acknowledgement and nurturing and tenderness towards yourself, and build it up gradually. Get used to build up your nervous system to feel safe receiving that little seedling of love towards yourself, and then water it, keep watering it until it starts to sprout and show some green shoots, and then water it until it becomes an abundant blossoming of flowers and plants and just a beautiful garden that you keep watering and it keeps blooming, and it's really, really gorgeous. And that's what I see for this world. If we can have the bravery and courage to go within and to tend to ourselves and to love ourselves, and then we get to love each other and we get to share with each other as humans and connect heart to heart, connect soul to soul, and lift each other up and raise each other up. And yeah, what's more magical than that? I don't know. So enjoy, tend to your heart, tend to yourself in as much a way as you can right now, and go easy, go gently, and enjoy your wild simplicity. And I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for joining me on this journey to wild simplicity. If today's episode inspired you to let go, simplify, and reconnect with your truest self, I would love for you to share it and help spread the word. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode, and follow along on Instagram at Wild Simplicity for more inspiration. Remember, life is precious and you have the power to live it fully, freely, and fiercely. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep seeking, and keep embracing the wild possibilities of life.